What's good, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope you're having a great day today. Welcome to the closing beat. We tried to change it up a little bit. It is the 21st of September, and if you happen to be anywhere in my age group or maybe older, then you certainly know what song that was. I'm not sure if we'll get in trouble on YouTube for posting that or not, but hey, it comes once a year, so you got to post it. Welcome to the closing beat. On the screen, you should be able to see the markets, right? If you're watching for the first time, this is just our review of the stock market. We're financial advisors at Jazz Wealth. You get the idea. You've probably seen the show before. And we'll point out that the Doe show at 1 o'clock, that's a great show if you want to check that out. Anything we can do to help you with your money. But we're just having a good time here today with the 21st of September. Big nights planned, I hope. I'm sure if you go see a band anywhere, that's what they're going to be playing tonight. They should, anyways. That would make the most sense. If you've been watching the stock markets today, we've got a lot to say about the stock markets today. This is going to be a different one today. The Dow closed higher on the day by 86 points, but the S&P was lower by 1. You should be able to see it there off to the corner there. And the Nasdaq was lower by 41. Second day in a row that we've got a disconnect here. And if you dig deeper into the overall markets, then you're going to probably have the same assumption I'm going to have. We'll go over that, of course, as we go. News-wise today, you got a scroller down at the bottom. I'm not going to go over too much of the news. We'll go over the stock-specific stuff here and just kind of jump right into it. So here we go. On the screen, charts working today. Everything's good. Here's the Dow. Broke to new highs early in the day. It didn't. I don't think it quite closed at new highs, maybe just by a point or two. But remember, that's what happened this week. It finally caught up to the other markets. Remember, the Nasdaq, the Russell, and the S&P, they'd all made new highs already, actually a few times. And the Dow's sort of been playing catch up there. Now, thanks to the financials, Telecom today, and some other names, you, of course, had it help push to the highs. I'm going to venture I'm not going to say a guess. It is going by stats. If you go by stats, the market's actually going to close lower than where it finished today at the end of the month. Meaning, by the time we get to the end of the month, we will be lower than where we currently are as of today. If you look at the Nasdaq 100, I would have the same comments based on the stats for that one. Of course, these aren't my specific recommendations. Got to be careful there. But look, the Nasdaq is telling you that it's having a little bit of trouble here and people are deciding to take some profits. If you look at just like the last couple months here of the charts, what happened here over the span of 3 days? It got hit okay. It was just a decent little pullback, but a rather aggressive one. And look what happened. It rather quickly recovered it. Then a few weeks later, it got hit for a few days and rather quickly recovered, right? Now it got hit quickly for a few days here and so far has been unable to recover. The longer that people see that, the more they're going to go, is this the top? All right, let me take some profits, and that'll cause a little selling pressure to the downside. So same thing, Nasdaq 100 more than likely, the stats show, going back to 1950, that this will finish lower on the month than where it's currently at. And I would even go with the same thing on the S&P 500, primarily on the S&P 500 and the Dow. Same thing, right? Broke out to new highs, wasn't able to finish up there. You kind of understand because it had a great couple of days. So it's like, running up a hill. You're not going to do it forever. You'll run up the hill, take a break, run up another hill. So you kind of expect this one to pull back. If it did from here, there'd be no reason to panic or anything. And I think it'd be totally normal if the markets did close a little lower this month. It just feeds the fire of the bulls. So, when the markets fall, people get concerned, like, is this the top? Are we finally going to fall from here? And you have another side to that story where people go, I'm waiting for the markets to fall so they can buy. That's what they want. So when the markets fall, think of it as a good thing as long as they don't fall too aggressively. When you see these sort of sharp declines like you did back in February, okay, that makes people a little nervous. But otherwise, look at the uptrend here. As things pull back, people find value in that and they begin to invest more. Pulls back again, they find value, they invest more. Same, and so on and so on. So if we pull back from here, you'd expect that people would see some kind of value in that and would want to invest more. Very simple. Now, if we look at the Dow, as far as the performance goes today, I believe you had McDonald's and Verizon were your leaders. Maybe one other one in there. But McDonald's and Verizon were at the top of the list for the day. Telecom was your, well, how do we say it? It was your best performing sector for the day, a lot thanks to AT&T and Verizon as well. If we go look at AT&T, it actually finished the day only up 1%, but basically it got an upgrade. AT&T gets an upgrade today, and that helped kind of push the stock higher. It also helped Verizon There's a lot of focus, and there will now start to be more media focus on names, these two names. The reason why is that 5G that they're rolling out. We talked about it a week or two ago, where in October they're going to start pushing out the 5G, getting that going. It's supposed to be a big revenue driver for them as far as getting more customers. We'll see what happens, but expect the media to kind of check in on that pretty frequently to see how things are going. If there's any hiccups, you're going to hear about it. If there's any successes, you're going to hear about it, and very likely with the form of upgrades or downgrades. So not bad there. What else do I UBS was the ones that upgraded today. They think that 5G is going to be a great deal for them. Other stocks in the news, Micron was actually higher after earnings last night. Then the CEO made some comments about tariffs and how that's going to affect them for the next 12 to 18 months, I believe he said. And so because of that, you had the stock actually finishing a little bit lower here on the day. Have we temporarily frozen? Looks like we've frozen on the mix there. I don't know, man. Things like, hey, it's Friday. I'm not feeling it. What's going on? Let's see. Everything says fine. Maybe it's playing catch up. It could just be on my end too. Maybe somebody will let me know as we go there. But Micron Technology's falling on the day. Under Armour was higher on the day. JP Morgan upgraded it. They said they're going to beat earnings for 2018, all the rest of it, and 2019. So Under Armour, if you're following that stock, had a good day, about 3% on the day. I'll move through the rest of these here. Tesla lost another executive. Nobody really seemed to care. Didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. And we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I see it frozen too. Sorry about that. Everything looks good on my end. But maybe YouTube's having some Friday issues there. We'll make it an audio episode then. And see if it catches up. Sheesh. Okay, so Tesla lost another executive today. Like I said, nobody seemed to really care. The stock was a little bit higher. We'll expect everybody to get back to earnings as far as a focus on that one. And then, you know, the production of the cars there. Wells Fargo cutting its workforce. I could care less about Wells Fargo. If I look at the stock, I know you guys can't see it, but if I take a quick look, the stock was down by 1% on the day. They're trying to save $4 billion. So that's their answer to that, is to get rid of about 5 to 10 people. 5 to 10%. 5 to 10% of their workforce. Hey, McDonald's raised their quarterly dividend to $1.16. Congratulations if you're in that fund. We own that stock actually in our dividend fund. You got a little bit of a raise there. Texas Instruments also raised their dividends. We announced that yesterday. So you got a little bit of a raise. If you've been participating in our dividend fund, you'll get a little bit extra there when that comes around. And then Tilray, I didn't really want to talk about that. Anyways, down 30% after the close. You guys know why. You've been following it all week. I would even expect more downside on that one. It's not worth that. And if you're watching financial media, they are talking about sales. They compare it to sales. Normally they'll say they're Amazon trading at so many times earnings. Well, Tilray doesn't have earnings, so they have to say trading 500 times sales. And so it's a very clever way that they get around kind of doing that. I'm going to click a button here and just see what happens. I'm kind of afraid. Well, yeah, it does show. I think it's the camera. Let me try something real quick, if you guys don't mind. Stick with me, stick with me. Since you can hear me just fine, I'll bet you it has something to do with this. I'm no rocket scientist here, but I think if I do this, it'll work. Oh, nope, it's not gonna work. Well, I'll tell you what, let's try it one more time. And if it doesn't work, we're gonna wrap it up there because I pretty much covered everything. My main thing that I wanted to focus on today was the markets. If they finish lower for the month, the media will make a big deal out of it. Don't worry about it. It is perfectly normal. For the rest of you, I guess we'll be back next week and try to figure it out. It's the camera. The camera says, yo, I'm done, man. That's it. Get out of here. No problem, no problem. Actually, let me try something. If I could just go like this. Camera doesn't want to play, but yeah, you can see the stocks on there, so you can't see my pretty face, but we'll see what happens there. Perfect. Okay, so in the S&P 500, you got the American Airlines. They raised their bag fees. We talked about that yesterday. Stock performing better today because of it. They make a ton of money off that garbage, so that's that one. McDonald's That's the dividend we talked about. You had a couple other retailers higher on the day. When we talked about American Airlines, you had Delta Airlines participating and a few others. Good old Foot Locker always seems to be near the top or the bottom of the list every day. I don't know what their deal is, but every day when I check, they're there. Darden Restaurants, remember that had earnings yesterday. Everything was great. People chose to take their profits, and today they continued with that. Chipotle selling off on the day, and then General Motors giving back a little bit of the week's gains. Adobe was lower, but only because of that acquisition. I can't even pronounce the name of the company they bought, but they did that. Facebook, a little bit lower on the day. There's nothing good happening in Facebook. All the long-term investors have walked away for the moment. Nothing interesting to say there. Tyson Foods a little bit lower on the day. Could be tied to the McDonald's news. They were talking about the pension fund up in New York was talking about doing better with their chicken, McDonald's chicken. So Tyson could have a little bit of piece of that maybe there as well. What else? What else? Still looking. QCOM down a little bit today. Not a big deal. Intel participating on the downside with the likes of Micron. Not a big deal there. Apple down 1% after coming. They had their whole phone announcement today. They started selling the two phones, not that RX version or XR or whatever it was called. So that's that one. And Wells Fargo down 1%. Frozen like an ice cube. Yeah, that's fine. I need a haircut anyways, man. Nice. What do we think about tech stocks overall? I think same thing, if they took a break, no problem. If they pulled back, everybody would be pretty much fine with that. On the screen, remember Monday you're going to have a new sector. You're going to have the communication services sector. I'll save that for Monday so you guys can see what I had going on there. Streaming off a webcam, I wish, probably a lot easier. This is a camera that's hooked up to the network. So it's an actual physical big old thing that's connected to the network, and it has decided not to connect to the network today. Derek, SO. So a little bit of a good, you're a value guy, huh? A little bit of a good day today, not bad. The question that I would have there, no, actually, if you look at it, the volume was really good. So if you take a look over here, the volume for the day, nice strong volume on the day, showing that, you know, that's more than just people like me and you maybe going in there and buying. I wouldn't add to it just yet because I can't imagine your cost basis is much better than where the stock's at unless you bought it today. Nick bought some SO and Tyson. There you go. All right. Nice. Defense, I don't know what that means. Oh, the defense stocks? I think they mostly took the day off today. Let's see. United Technologies, that's a little too far too fast now. Rockwell Collins, really like that one. That's a good sort of longer term view on that one, I think. Raytheon, yeah, I mean, a lot of these kind of took the day off. Nothing really exciting. Just attention focused everywhere else. That's really all. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up there. Clearly, stuff's not going right. We'll be back next week with everything working well. I'll get the help that I need. Don't worry. We'll get it there. Enjoy your weekend. And